I want you to take this seriously, because if you watch this video until the end, it might make you reflect on yourself and how you've been living your life. Have you ever wondered, could the small habits I've unconsciously developed over time, especially as I've gotten older, be making others uncomfortable or giving them the wrong impression of me? What's important to note here is that the people around you may have noticed, but they'll never say anything. Not because they don't care, but because they're too polite to speak up. The truth is, as we age, we tend to develop unconscious habits, from how we dress and speak to how we express our emotions. These behaviors, though minor, can make others perceive us as less refined, lacking vitality, or even difficult to approach. And the unfortunate part is, when no one points them out to you, you'll keep doing them without ever realizing it. But here's the good news. As soon as you become aware of these habits, you can change them. Making those adjustments isn't complicated at all. On the contrary, they're so simple that you'll probably wonder why you didn't do it sooner. In this video, we will explore 3 common habits among older adults that others often notice, but rarely point out. These may seem like small signs, but they impact how others perceive, treat, and judge you. And, most importantly, they also affect how you see and feel about yourself. You might think that age takes away your charm, but the truth is quite the opposite. With just a few thoughtful adjustments, you can maintain a sharp, stylish image and radiate confidence and appeal, no matter how old you are. So, take a few minutes to watch this video until the end. I promise you that once you recognize these subtle signs, you'll never look at aging the same way again. You'll realize that age isn't a limitation. It's a chance to shine in a new way. Now, let's begin this journey of shifting your perspective to become the best version of yourself, even after you've passed the halfway mark of life. 1. Wearing outdated or ill-fitting clothes, the silent sign that dulls your appeal. As we age, there's one subtle thing that often gets overlooked and rarely talked about: our style of dress. Many middle-aged and older adults gradually stop paying attention to their appearance, not because they don't love themselves, but because life gets busy, old habits take over, and there's a mindset that says, "I don't need to impress anyone anymore." They often continue wearing the same outfits they've had for years, familiar and comfortable, but perhaps no longer flattering, out of style, or even making them appear older and less vibrant than they truly are. But clothing is more than just fabric. It's a silent language that speaks volumes about who you are. The way you present yourself is the message you send about your confidence, self-respect, and inner vitality. A well-fitted, clean, structured outfit can make you look sharp, energized, and magnetic. On the other hand, a shirt with a worn collar, baggy pants with no shape, or shoes with worn-out heels can make you appear tired, unkempt, and as if you've stopped caring about yourself. Mrs. Eleanor, 70 years old, lives in a small coastal town in South England. She was once known for her elegant style and graceful presence. During her years as a high school teacher, she always appeared in modest long skirts, button cardigans, and perfectly polished leather boots. But ever since retiring, she gradually became more careless with her appearance. She began wearing old tops from decades past, oversized sweatpants, and faded sneakers, thinking, "I'm just at home. Why bother dressing up?" Things might have stayed that way, if not for a visit from her granddaughter Sophie. While sorting through her wardrobe, Sophie gently suggested she try on a teal blouse paired with straight-leg trousers and a pair of soft leather shoes she had bought as a birthday gift. When Eleanor stood in front of the mirror, she was surprised by her reflection, radiant, refreshed, and full of life. Upon seeing her again, her old friends exclaimed, "Eleanor, you look 10 years younger." But most importantly, Eleanor felt awakened, like a spark had been reignited after a long neglect. You don't need to chase the latest fashion trends or wear elaborate outfits to look good. The most important element of personal style is suitability. Suitable for your body shape, age, lifestyle, and unique personality. A well-fitted top, neatly tailored pants with structured fabric, and colors that complement your skin tone can convey the aura of someone who truly cares for and values themselves. If you're looking to refresh your appearance, start with simple steps. Consider investing in a few basic but high-quality pieces: a crisp white shirt, a pair of structured trousers, and a light jacket for cool days. Choose colors that flatter your complexion, like beige soft pastel blues, light gray, or deeper tones like wine red or navy blue. When it comes to fabric, prioritize soft and breathable materials that still hold their shape, so you stay comfortable while maintaining a polished, put-together look. Don't overlook shoes and accessories. A clean, well-fitting pair of shoes, a classic watch, or a stylish scarf can elevate your outfit. If you're unsure where to start, don't hesitate to ask a family member with good taste or seek advice from a professional sales assistant. They can help you discover pieces that suit you, even ones you may have never considered before. Remember this: dressing well isn't about pleasing others, but helping you feel more confident whenever you look in the mirror. When you take care of your appearance, you're sending a powerful message. I'm still living fully, still loving myself, and cherishing every moment of growing older. And it's that attitude, not expensive clothes, that truly makes you magnetic, memorable, and inspiring in the eyes of others. 2. Neglecting personal care, the silent sign that dims your inner glow. As we journey through the years, we face many changes, from our health and emotions to our daily routines. One of the most noticeable, yet often overlooked shifts is how we care for ourselves. As we age, many people begin to let go of habits that once felt natural, keeping their hair neatly trimmed, maintaining clean nails, caring for their skin, or simply putting on a fresh, tidy outfit before stepping out the door. This isn't always due to laziness. The reasons are often rooted in everyday realities: declining health, fluctuating moods, or the belief that, at this age, does it matter anymore? But here's the truth: others still quietly notice. And more importantly, you feel the difference most when you look in the mirror. These small things, when neglected long enough, gradually dull your presence. They can make you look tired, drained, and distant from others and yourself. The story of Mrs. Margaret, 72, who lives in a quiet suburb of Wellington, New Zealand, is a clear and touching example. She was once a woman full of grace, her voice soft and calm, her silver hair neatly trimmed, always seen with a gentle smile, and dressed in a style of timeless elegance. But after her husband James, whom she had been with for over 40 years, passed away from heart disease, Mrs. Margaret slowly withdrew from the world. She rarely left the house, declined invitations to gatherings with her longtime friends, and repeatedly wore the same old sweaters. Her hair grew long and unkempt, and she gradually let go of the self-care habits that used to be part of her daily life. At first, her family didn't dare say anything, afraid of hurting her feelings. But then, one day, as she was getting ready to go to the supermarket, she happened to catch a glimpse of herself in the mirror and froze. The reflection staring back at her wasn't the woman she once took pride in. It was someone tired, with tangled hair, dull, dry skin, and eyes that had lost their sparkle. "Who am I turning into?" she whispered. Determined not to let grief consume her any longer, Mrs. Margaret decided it was time for a change. The very next day, she visited her familiar hair salon and asked for the neat hairstyle she used to wear back when she was still teaching. Back home, she rummaged through an old drawer, pulled out a long-forgotten jar of moisturizer, and chose a pastel pink dress, the birthday gift from her granddaughter that she had never worn. That day, as she stepped outside, neighbors smiled and greeted her. A young newspaper boy even said, "Mrs. Margaret, you look beautiful today." That simple comment brought a smile to her face that lasted all day. What mattered most wasn't just the change in her appearance. It was the revival of her spirit. She began taking morning walks, rejoined her local book club, and, most importantly, felt happier, lighter, and reconnected with the world around her. Neglecting personal care isn't just about letting your appearance fade. It's a sign that you may slowly withdraw from life, disconnecting from yourself and the people who love you. Psychological studies have shown that maintaining small habits, like washing your face in the morning, trimming your nails regularly, or applying a bit of moisturizer before bed, positively impacts your mental well-being, self-esteem, and overall life satisfaction. You don't need to spend hours in front of the mirror or invest in expensive products. It's as simple as keeping your hair neat, ensuring your nails are clean, wearing tidy and well-fitted clothes, and applying a little moisturizer to keep your skin from drying out. If you have facial hair, trimming it regularly can brighten your entire face. When done consistently, these small acts can make a world of difference in how you see yourself and how others see you. And please remember this: taking care of yourself is not vanity, nor is it a desperate attempt to cling to youth. It's a powerful affirmation that you are living fully and with intention, not to impress others, but to stay connected to who you truly are, even through life's many twists and turns. 3. Speaking too loudly or interrupting others. A seemingly harmless habit that can feel overwhelming. Communication is the bridge that connects us with others, and like any other skill, it evolves. As we enter middle age or our senior years, physical changes, especially in hearing, can directly impact how we interact in conversations. You might not even realize it, but your voice may gradually become louder with age, and at times, you might unintentionally interrupt others without meaning to. This phenomenon is more common than you might think. Hearing loss is a natural part of aging, and when our hearing isn't as sharp as it used to be, we often raise our voice to ensure we're being heard. But the person across from us may feel overwhelmed or talked over. The unfortunate truth is that most people won't tell you. They'll simply smile politely, stay quiet, or gently change the subject, trying to avoid hurting your feelings. Mr. Richard, 69, is an optimistic and friendly man living in the suburbs of Ontario, Canada. He especially loves weekend family gatherings, times when he can share fascinating stories from his days in the aviation industry, crack jokes, and bond with his children and grandchildren. However, over time, the energy in these conversations started to shift. He often spoke so loudly that it drowned out the background music, and sometimes, without realizing it, he would interrupt his granddaughter in the middle of her story. Although everyone loved him dearly, many family members quietly felt drained because they rarely had the chance to speak. His wife, Helen, once gently mentioned it to him, but he would laugh it off, saying it was just part of his enthusiastic personality. Things only truly changed after his youngest grandson's birthday party. While Mr. Richard was telling a long story, he suddenly noticed the awkward glances around the room, people shifting uncomfortably, clearly trying to jump into the conversation but too hesitant to interrupt. That night, he lay awake for a long time thinking. The next day, he took the initiative to visit a hearing center in town. The test results showed significant hearing loss in his right ear, which explained why he had been unconsciously speaking louder than necessary. From that moment on, Mr. Richard made a real effort to change. He practiced speaking more slowly, made eye contact to gauge how others were engaging, and patiently waited for others to finish their thoughts before jumping in. The result was remarkable. Family conversations became more relaxed and filled with more laughter, and Mr. Richard found himself truly hearing things he had been missing. "I never imagined that by simply speaking a little softer and listening more, I'd feel so much closer to everyone," he later shared with a friend. The key takeaway is that communication isn't about winning. It's about understanding. A meaningful conversation is always a balance between speaking and listening, between expressing and receiving. When you talk too much, too loudly, or without noticing how others are responding, you unintentionally tip that balance, and over time, it creates distance, even if no one says a word. If you notice the person you're talking to stepping back, looking down, or hesitating to speak up while you're talking, consider those as silent signals that it might be time to adjust your communication style. Sometimes, all it takes is lowering your voice, pausing for a moment to let the other person finish their thought, or gently asking, "What do you think about that?" You've already created a more open, respectful space for dialogue. And if you suspect your hearing may be declining, don't hesitate to get it checked. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a responsible step for yourself and the people you care about. Communication is the art of connection. And when you master that art with respect and sensitivity, you'll always be heard, without ever needing to raise your voice. Now you've learned about 3 seemingly harmless habits that, in reality, have a powerful impact on your image: neglecting self-care, unmindful communication, and wearing outdated or ill-fitting clothes. These habits tend to creep in quietly over time, especially as we enter middle age or later in life. And they don't just shape how others see you, they deeply influence how you feel about yourself. Take a moment to reflect. Every day, how you present yourself, how you speak, and even your smallest daily habits all contribute to the image you project to the world. When you step outside looking polished, speaking calmly, and wearing a warm smile, people around you feel your positive energy, vitality, and the value you bring into every space you enter. And the best part? Everything can change, starting with the smallest steps. You don't need a complete transformation or to become someone else. Start simple. Pay a little more attention to your appearance. Keep your skin healthy, your hair neat, and your nails clean. Adjust how you communicate. Speak mindfully, listen more, and respect the shared conversation space. Then, open your wardrobe and ask yourself, does this outfit still represent who I am today? If the answer is, I'm not sure, perhaps it's time to update a few pieces that better align with your current age, lifestyle, and personality. These small changes can bring surprisingly big results. When you care for yourself, you look more radiant and radiate positivity that draws others in. People begin to see you in a more favorable light, listen more attentively, and treat you with the respect you deserve. Don't be discouraged if you recognize one of these habits in yourself. It doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It simply means you're standing at the threshold of a meaningful shift. Awareness is the very first and most important step. And once you begin to make small adjustments day by day, you'll start to feel more aligned, more confident, and more at peace with who you are. Remember, age doesn't diminish your worth unless you allow unconscious habits to dim the best version of yourself.